Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining me today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Today, we will be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 6, Saved by the Mariachis. This was my favorite episode. If I had to title this episode, it would have been Hard Conversations, because I thought they had some hard conversations with both their spouses and with their friends. And I thought they handled it just wonderfully. I thought this was a really mature cast. So I am really excited about this episode. If you have a favorite couple, then remember to check the description box and you can jump to the couple that you want to learn about the most. And with that, please subscribe so that you can be part of the congregation. And please comment so that you can be part of the conversation. And with that, let's get started.
Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by Bynum's Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video.
Krysten and Mitch. First time we really see them talking on this episode is when they are with the girls. Krysten is with the girls and Mitch is with the guys. And Krysten begins to share because you remember on the boat, she decided that she was going to wait till the men were not in earshot at all and be able to truly tell what had happened in her relationship. And I love that. She did not want to spoil the boat ride for others. And also, I don't think that she really wanted to talk, because sometimes you might be talking too loud, you get them riled up, and then your husband is right there. So I think it was very smart of Krysten to kind of wait until she had the girls alone to talk about it. And she also let them go first, and she shared in their joy, which I thought is wonderful. Because sometimes when things are not going as well in your life, you can't really celebrate with others. So the fact that she was able to do that, great job, Krysten. She started off her conversation by telling them, hey, once I tell you guys this, we all have to be Team Mitch. And I love that, because when you are sharing about your relationship, I think you need to let them know that you need to be Team Mitch or Team whatever, because the spouse generally forgives faster than the friends and family, because we're not as emotionally involved in it as the person. So I thought that was great insight. And I believe that Lindy, she said it great. She said it's hard to listen, be so supportive, and not demonize. And that's what Krysten is kind of trying to say with saying be Team Mitch. This excited me so much that I did my first ever story time about my Team Mitch and how that happened in my life in terms of someone sharing with me and how I may not have reacted so Team Mitch-like in my scenario. So if you want to see that, check that video out after you finish watching this. And it's my very first story time. But Krysten goes on to explain to them that Mitch shared with her that he does not think that she is attractive. He's not feeling a physical attraction to her. And then how they went on with the rest of the night. They were able to get in the do a swim. Then they had shots. And then when they got back to the room, he pounced on her like a tiger. And the girls were just too upset. She said at that point, she took her control back. She says, this is in my hands now. She did not go through with it. She stopped him. But she says she still wants to continue in their relationship. And she really wants to make this work. And I love that, because you are going to have just hard times in your marriage. It doesn't matter if you're married at first sight or not. And I really believe that people give up too fast in their marriage. So I'm really glad that she is going to push past this and move forward, and I hope that it works out for her. Mitch is with the guys and they're doing tequila shots, and they actually did not show Mitch saying anything about this conversation. And it may be because he was on the after party and he shared his thoughts there. So if you watch the after party, you kind of know what Mitch's thoughts were on this particular scenario. And if you didn't, then catch my episode 6 after party recap, and you can kind of see what Mitch thought. But production kind of skipped him, but I think they skipped him because they knew that they were going to feature him on the after party, which is something that I'm going to look to moving forward, to see like who's on the after party, and if they don't give that person a chance to like speak their piece, because I'm just really interested in production. So I'm going to keep my eye out for that moving forward. The next thing we see is Krysten hanging out with Alexis. And Krysten is concerned because Mitch has not been in a committed relationship for a long time. I love the advice that Alexis gave her. She says that she needs to count the small wins, and she just needs to meet Mitch where he is. Great job, Alexis. Krysten then says that she's walking on eggshells, and Mitch's actions are showing that he wants her, and he is not, and he's now talking about the future. So that turned around really quickly if he's now talking about the future and she is seeing signs that he wants her. And Alexis says it's going to take time, but Mitch is attracted to her, and it seems like that attraction is a meaningful part in relationships for him. Alexis reminds Krysten that she could have been with Justin 6 months ago, but she judged him on attraction and was superficial about what she saw on the dating app, and she almost missed her biggest blessing. And so she hopes that Mitch comes to that same conclusion. I thought that Alexis was the great person for her to talk to in this situation because of that parallel between Mitch, and that she made between Mitch and herself, and her being superficially not attracted to Justin, but now they're working out great. And I say we all need to do that. We all need to go beyond the surface when we are looking for a relationship, and not just concentrate on the superficial. Krysten then watches Mitch surf. She really had a good time, which I thought is very great for their relationship, because when we met Krysten, we saw her sitting on the beach by herself. She was maybe reading, I can't remember what she was doing. So now her sitting on the beach, enjoying her husband, enjoy himself in surfing. I think that is going to be a great compatibility. You know, maybe after he finishes, he comes over there and they have some time together. But I thought that was very consistent with her personality prior to marriage, because that's one thing that she liked to do on her own. So great match for the experts in that regards. We next see Mitch and Krysten at the group dinner. And Krysten says she believes that the honeymoon has been overwhelming for Mitch, and she is ready to get back home so that they can develop a daily routine, such as eating dinner together nightly and things like that. So she is ready to get back to daily life. Mitch says that he is attracted to a woman who is busy, engaging, opinionated, and strong. And I think all those things describe Krysten. So I think if he gets out of his head, he's gonna really enjoy Krysten. He says that they will need to make sure to find time to connect. And isn't that the way we all, in such a busy life, we all need to find time to connect with our spouse. The next thing we see for them is a late night of the honeymoon. Krysten is happier being married than she is single, despite the ups and downs. Oh my God, I can relate. I think that marriage is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life, but I do enjoy being married, and I would not want to be single. So I really connected with Krysten in that area. Mitch says that he knows that he can be a lot, and he doesn't want Krysten to put pressure on him, but he wants her to have clear communication and don't let him get off with a pass, and hold him accountable. So that is very interesting because I believe that you can't really hold somebody accountable unless they want to be held accountable. Because you can point out something to somebody as much as you want, but if they don't let you in that, it just goes on deaf ears. So the fact that he wants to be held accountable and he does not want her to give him a pass, I thought that was great. The last thing we saw of Krysten and Mitch was the morning of the last day of their honeymoon, and they cuddled that night, and Mitch says that he is at a different place and he is ready to get home and get into a rhythm, and Krysten has a lot of hope. And that was it for Mitch and Krysten. What do you think? Do you think this couple is gonna make it? What do you think about Krysten saying Team Mitch? What are your thoughts on Mitch and Krysten? Do you think Mitch will ever just relax and let it be? Let me know what you think by commenting in the comment section. Stacia and Nate. We see Stacia at the girls' brunch, and she lets us know that they have not consummated their marriage yet. But they did take a bath together, and they're finding more intimate ways other than sex in order to connect, and that sex will be the last thing in order to have it be the build-up. At the tequila tasting with the guys, Nate also says that they have not consummated their marriage yet. He wants to respect his wife, and it's too early to complicate things. And when he makes this statement, Miguel asks, why does it complicate things? And Nate went into this whole conversation about lacking understanding of each other. When you consummate too quickly, that they would be lacking understanding of each other, lacking if they have the same vision, goals, and lifestyle. He wants a wife for a long-term relationship, but Miguel is not buying it at all. He thinks that Stacia and Nate have consummated their marriage, but they're just not talking about it. We then see Nate and Stacia on day 6 of their marriage, and Stacia prepares a picnic for Nate. Now, Nate goes into the picnic talking about bugs and how he doesn't like bugs and how he's kind of like scared of them. And we see that play out immediately because we see that there's a spider, he's scared, he's all jumping, and Stacia had to kill the spider. Now, personally, I would have been jumping out the way and my husband would have had to deal with it. But hey, each for his own. Sometimes we have different strengths in a relationship. Nate then lets her know that he appreciates the picnic, but he is really simple and she doesn't have to be elaborate all the time. She appreciates that Nate is not intimidated by her. She says her last relationship was long distance and they just kind of grew apart. She says she went to therapy in order to rebuild. She then asked Nate if he would be open to go to therapy, and I love this. Nate asked a couple of questions. Do you mean now or when something is wrong? And she really says to be proactive, and Nate agrees immediately. And I think that this is characteristics of Nate's personality because he says that he's a learner. He will listen to people. And I think that this is just an extension of what he told us before he got married. So great job, Nate, for agreeing to go to counseling. Some men may not be that open to counseling, especially when there's nothing wrong. But I think that that is the best time when nothing's wrong, so that when something does come up, it'll already be a normal situation and the guy would be more apt to go. So I think that we all should really pay more attention to our marriage than we do our wedding. Some of us just hype up the wedding. We spend a lot of time and a lot of money into that, but maintaining the marriage afterwards is the most important. And I think that with offering therapy, that is what Stacia is thinking about. So I hope they show it. I hope they actually show it on the show. And I know they have their counselors, but I think therapy is a little different than like the experts, because I think they really like deep dive down into your relationship. So I hope we get to see a little bit of that on the show. Stacia in a cameo tells us that she wants accountability, transparency, and authenticity, which I think is very interesting because authenticity begins to come up even in other conversations. And I'm assuming that this one happened first and she's already saying that she wants authenticity. Although it is a cameo, which sometimes to me, and it's a cameo that's in the studio. So then it could be they recorded it later and not when they were like on set at the picnic. So then, they already know what the other conversations are, but she says she wants transparency, accountability, and authenticity. Nate likes Stacia and hopes that what he's seeing is consistent. He wants when they get home that it would be consistent and they would be a power couple and they would make power moves. And we know that that is what Stacia is looking for. She is wanting to be a power couple and she is wanting to make power moves. So hopefully he's being genuine about what he is saying and they can do that. I think that he could really morph into her business in terms of real estate. He could become a real estate agent if she already knows how to do it, and that could be something that they could do together. I think day trading is really good too if he can hone in on his skills. I know nothing about day trading, but Bailey and her husband Swaggy does day trading. He's been very successful, so maybe now that he's gotten a little fame on TV, he can tap into what Swaggy is doing. He could really teach him how to really do day trade. But I think either way, they could be a power couple, because I think that those are two things that if you really learn how to do them and you do them well, then you can actually make power moves. Stacia is then talking to Lindy and Morgan. And Lindy says that her and Miguel are concerned that Nate is not being authentic because he is always on his phone saying, look what we are doing. She does say that this could be his personality, but she is concerned. But she asked Stacia, is that a concern of yours? Two things I liked about this conversation. So Lindy said that she doesn't think that Nate is being authentic, but she gave a reason. She said because he is always with his phone trying to take what they're doing. And if you're on a national show and you always have your phone, it does look like you may be doing this for clout and you may not be serious about the relationship. So I like that she actually gave her example and didn't make a statement and wasn't able to back it up. And then I like that she asked Stacia. First, she gave a way out. She said maybe this could be his personality and that's just him. So she gave an out, like, I'm not accusing him. This is just something that I noticed. This is how I'm taking it in. But I could be wrong. I felt like that's what she was saying. I could be wrong in this. And then she said, what do you think? Are you concerned? And actually Stacia said yes. So I think it's a valid concern of Lindy and Miguel's if Stacia has agreed that it is a concern of hers. And the thing is that we've seen Nate with his phone getting his shots for Instagram or whatever when they were on the two-wheelers or four-wheelers, the ride that they went on, and he kind of left her. So we know that he does this. Production hasn't been showing us every time he does it, but evidently he has done it when they're in a crowd and interacting together. They just haven't showed us that. So I would be concerned too if every time we're in a group that you are kind of documenting what's going on. But don't get me wrong, if I was Nate, I would be documenting that stuff too, because once they get off the show, they can come post it on YouTube or do an Instagram story about it. And you can really use your 5 minutes of fame to allow you to have a come up. And I think that you can do both, but you can't just be all up in yourself. I still think that from last year that, who was it? Isaac, what was his name? I'm not saying his name right because that was his alter ego, but he should have made a t-shirt. He could have made, and maybe he did. If you guys know if he did, let me know. Because I think that he wore a t-shirt, I'm talking with her and not at her. I'm talking with her and not at her. That's a money-making opportunity. I mean, they could really make their 5 minutes of fame count, as well as being genuine about their marriage. So I can see why Nate's authenticity would come into question, and it is concern for Stacia too. She says she questions his authenticity his intentions. She doesn't know for sure why he's here. She wants to peel back the layers. So I love the balanced conversation in this. I thought that they did very good in the sharing between the three of them, between Morgan, Lindy, and Stacia, because I really like when you're in a group conversation and everybody shares. You know, Lindy shared about her relationship and how the intimacy, she was okay with it. Morgan shared about her relationship, although not so authentically, but she shared. And now Stacia is talking. And I think that that's what true relationships are really built on. I mean, I'm not sure if they had to do that as an urging from production, but I loved the sharing, and I love how Lindy approached Stacia about the authenticity. Let me know, what did you think? Did you really think it was a back exchange? I mean, they're on here to be supportive to one another. So I don't have a problem when they question or ask about another one's relationship. I thought it was a great conversation. Then we see them at the last night. They're all at the group dinner. Stacia and Nate, they really didn't talk very much in the group. Nate said he's concerned that Stacia is going to revert back to work mode, and Stacia invited Nate to live with her in her home that she is building from the ground up. So that's kind of like what we got from this couple. We then see them the last night of their honeymoon, and they are about to go to sleep, and Stacia tells Nate that she's trying to determine his intentions. And I love this. Not only did she talk about it with the girls in their intimate conversation, but now she is bringing her concerns to her husband, which is exactly what we are supposed to do. She says she has insecurities of not being enough. And oh my God, I'm sure many of us, I'm not going to say all of us, but many of us can relate to the feeling of not being enough. Nate says that he is falling in love and his feelings are real. He did this with a purpose to find love and match and a partner, and he thinks that she is it. And I love that he gave her that reassurance. And honestly, I believe him. I believe that his intentions are pure. I think that he's just like a laid back guy, but I believe him. But that doesn't say much, because I just believe people when they say something until they show me something different. So I don't know. I believe Nate. I believe that his intentions are pure. So we'll see. She says that she comes with a lot and she is going to challenge him, and she is not sure if her challenges will go against his ego. And that is a very fine line, because I feel like it's very important for us to protect the ego of our men. And I think sometimes we can fail to do that and not even realize that we're doing it. So I'm glad she's thinking about it, but I hope that it does not challenge his ego too much where he gets discouraged about the relationship. And that was Stacia and Nate. What do you guys think? Did you guys think the conversation with Lindy, Morgan, and Stacia went well? Do you think Lindy should have challenged the authenticity of Nate? What do you think about Stacia then bringing it to Nate and just asking him straight out the question? We know she's a straight shooter. So what did you think? What did you think about the progression of their relationship this week? I am so excited. I cannot wait to hear what you thought about it. So please join the conversation by commenting in the comment section. Lindy and Miguel. We see Lindy at the girls' brunch, and she let the ladies know that she consummated her marriage, and it was nice, natural progression and with no pressure. And I don't know if the girls are buying it or not, but that's what she said. We then see Miguel, and he is sharing with the guys. And Miguel says that he consummated their marriage. It was perfect, very special. He felt empowered by a divine being, one with the universe and holy. And I'm not sure if divine being or holy, if he was trying to take a jab at her religion, her former religion or not. I'm not sure. I'm just going to take it as if that is how he felt and that it wasn't a jab. But I don't know. That struck me kind of different, because I don't know if you would say that if you don't have any type of religion. So not sure about that. Let me know what you thought about him saying that it was holy and felt like it was a divine being. Interesting language. We then see Lindy talking to Stacia and Morgan, and Stacia asked her, was she pressured into consummating her marriage since she was dead set against it prior? And Lindy says no, it was her desire and it was mutual. And Stacia shares that she is just checking in because she has been pressured to be intimate, to keep relationships in the past, and she wanted to make sure that that was not Lindy's situation. And Lindy lets her know that she grew up with so much judgment and shame related to intimacy that she just wants their support. But she's happy that Stacia is looking out for her. And oh, I just thought this was just perfect. I mean, it was okay. Stacia checked in and Lindy received it how Stacia intended it. Hey, she's just checking in. She's just saying that, hey, she told her why she was checking in, because you were dead set against it. And so now that it's kind of come up, and I love that Lindy said what she needed. And she told him why she needed it. She says, hey, what I need is your support. And why I need it is because I already feel a lot of judgment around intimacy because of the way I grew up. And she then thanked Stacia for checking in. So I just thought, great conversation. I watch a lot of reality television, and sometimes something like this just blows up into something just crazy. So I think that is why I'm so excited about these conversations and how, to me, they seem balanced, and what would normally happen in the real world and how we actually really act and react and respond to one another. And I love to see them kind of getting along and being supportive. All the girls seem like they're doing well. Even Lindy and Alexis seem like they're doing well too. And I don't think that Lindy is being overbearing. I don't see what other people see in Lindy. And honestly, I'm really paying attention to the music that production plays. And I think that production makes us feel or think certain ways by the music that they play. And the music that they play, it sets the mood and it puts us in the mood that they want us in, so that this can be a production television show kind of thing. But I could appreciate this conversation. I thought it was wonderful. Let me know what you thought about it. We then see Lindy and Miguel in their paddleboarding, and Lindy says that she is feeling pressure because Miguel has so many boxes that he wants her to check. And Miguel encourages her, hey, you just need to be you. And if I'm gonna fall in love, I wanna fall in love with you and not the person that you're trying to be. Lindy refers to him as a pervert. I thought that was a very interesting word choice. I'm not sure as to why that word came to her mind, but Miguel didn't make a big deal about it, so I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. But I thought that was very interesting. Miguel says that he came into this experiment knowing that he would give it 8 weeks and then he would decide, which is what the show is about, Decision Day. Lindy says that she needs to protect her heart because she wants a lifelong partner. I agree, she gotta protect her heart because he is really in it for the 8 weeks, and then he's gonna determine if he's gonna stay longer or not, which is what the show is about. So I don't know if I can fault him for that being the way he's gonna approach it, but I do understand what Lindy's saying too, that she wants a lifelong partner and she's in it for life in order to make it work. So I don't know. I mean, I can see both sides of the coin, and that's just how it goes in relationships. You got to be able to respect that person's viewpoint and opinion on that, and hold your own and decide how you're going to move forward in that relationship, knowing what that person has already decided. So we'll see if it's going to last 8 weeks or if it's going to last a lifetime. We then see Lindy and Miguel at the group dinner. And soon as Lindy walks up, she is still reeling from this paddle boat conversation. And she goes in to talk about how she wants a lifetime and Miguel is only committed to 8 weeks. And we don't really see the end of that because then Alexis ushers them in because they need to sit down in order to discuss that. And they move on to another couple. In my opinion, they never really get to it. Well, we see they never really get to address Miguel because the Mariachis came and played. But Miguel says he's surprised that they all know that they want this as a lifetime. And he is, he's in it for the 8 weeks and then he's going to decide. The only way that he could do the experiment is by knowing that there was an out. So that is the only way that he could do it, is that he knows at 8 weeks he could get out. Lindy wants this for the long haul, but now she wants to meet Miguel where he is, and it's painful, but she understands. She loves that she is not guessing, and she knows exactly where Miguel is. And one thing that I am noticing about Lindy, because I feel like she has been a flip-flopper where she believes one thing and then he'll say that he believes something else, and then she'll come to like what he believes as kind of like as a resolution. And I don't think that she is taking ownership of what he believes, but I think that she's doing exactly what she said. She is meeting him where he is, and if that's where he is, glad that he let her know where he is in that. And I think that that is okay. But I think that she is a processor. So I think that she has to get it out, which is why as soon as she walked up, she's still in her head about it. She has to get it out in order to process it within her mind and then put it into a different category. I'm a processor too, and it helps me to talk and vent out loud as well. So I kind of take it that that's what Lindy's doing. And then she, like she said, she's trying to meet him where he is. And then Stacia was getting ready to go in on Miguel. And they were saved by the Mariachis. And I think that production said, hey, going in, start playing loud, because that's not Stacia's department. That's for us to do. So I think that they were like, look, we want you guys to be a supportive group, but Stacia, we are not asking you to be an expert, and we've already vetted his background and all these things that you were getting ready to ask him. We've done that. So I think that production sent in the mariachi band in order to shut the conversation down because they were moving beyond their lane. But that's just a guess on my part. Let me know what you think. We then see them the last night of the honeymoon, and Miguel says that he has grown and he wished that he was the version of himself that he is right now, and when he met Lindy at the altar. So he is already seeing changes that he has made. Even in these little 6 days, he's already seeing changes, and he wished that he was this person at the altar. And I didn't really understand what he meant about it. Maybe he's getting more relaxed. I don't know what he meant about it. If you know, then let me know. But I think change is hard. So I like that somehow he's recognizing maybe that he's maturing or thinking of things differently. And maybe that means that he is taking some of the things that she's saying into consideration. But I do like people to grow and change. So I was very surprised to hear Miguel say that, but very elated as well. And Lindy says that she is looking forward to the coming days. We then see them the last day of the honeymoon, and Lindy is concerned that he is going to resent her from not working. And she lets him know, I don't want you to say nothing to me about what I do on my free time, whether I sleep all day, whether I go spend money, whether I go shopping, whether I just stay at home, whether I go to the beach, whether I go travel. I don't want you to say anything about what I'm doing on my free time, because I will feel judged and or controlled. And Miguel says that she is getting ahead of herself. Let's just cross that bridge when it comes to it. But I applaud Lindy because she is just communicating her needs. And why you got to communicate it when it's an issue? I'm telling you up front that I want to enjoy my free time, and I don't want you to say anything about it. Now, I think that if she goes on a road trip or whatever, she needs to get that agreement from her husband. But that's just the way I operate. Maybe they'll operate differently. But I thought it was great that she let him know that this is something that is kind of like dear to her and something that would be a negative to her. So if he does find himself wanting to say something about it, maybe he'll find a very gentle way in order to approach the subject. But I think her letting him know where she is in that area, kudos to Lindy. Kudos to Lindy. I think she did a great job by having the conversation before it becomes an issue. And that was all for Lindy and Miguel. What do you think? What do you think, man? Oh my God, what do you think about this 8 weeks versus a lifetime? You know what I am really looking forward to is I am looking forward to Miguel introducing his Dungeons and Dragons, because I feel like the whole wedding, Miguel just acts like Lindy has all these faults. She's hypersensitive. She, couldn't find her stuff in the luggage, but his fault is gonna be a grown man dressing up in a bear costume playing Dungeons and Dragons. And maybe she knows people like that, so maybe she'll be into it. I don't know anything about that, so it's kind of like weird to me, but I hope I'm not offending you, because you could be a Dungeons and Dragons person and it could be a whole world that I don't know about. So if it is and you know about that and that's what you do, then hey, educate me in the comments, because I think that's going to be the quirk that Lindy has to deal with Miguel. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you think by commenting in the comments about Lindy and Miguel. Alexis and Justin. We see Justin at the tequila tasting with the guys, and he is throwing shots over his shoulder. After the conversation that him and Alexis had that morning, where Alexis said, hey, you can come back lit, that's fine. But he says no, he is gonna throw the shots over his shoulder because it is too early in the morning. He hasn't gotten any food and he does not want to go out like that. And I admire him. Still want to be a part of the group, but not giving in to peer pressure and doing what he wanted to do instead of just taking what Alexis said and running with it. Justin says that they have not consummated their marriage yet, that Alexis is being respectful and allowing him to take the lead and make the move when he is ready. He says that she really respects his celibacy. He says they are doing other things to show that they're comfortable with each other, like walking around the house nude. He says that Alexis recognizes that he is sensitive and she embraces it and realizes that he can be stern and put his foot down when needed. Although he says he loves Alexis, he wants intimacy to happen naturally. Nate thinks that Justin is going slow so that he will not be consumed with Alexis and just overly consumed with Alexis, and that is why Justin is taking it slow. But I think that you should go at your own speed. I really respect him for waiting and doing it within his own time and not just to get a point or check a box, because Alexis is willing. So he is in control in this area. So I'm glad that he has a desire to get to know her before they consummate their relationship. We then see Alexis at the girls' brunch, and she says that Justin being sensitive is hard for her because this is opposite of what she is every day. She has to consider his feelings. And it's so interesting because Justin, he says that she is being supportive and she doesn't mind, but she's saying it is hard for her. And the reason why it's hard for her is because she has to consider his feelings. And I do think that that is one of the hardest parts of marriage, because you have to think about that person all the time, and you have to consider them, their feelings, their thoughts, how they operate all the time. And that takes a lot of work. So I feel like Alexis is just jumping in to what we all call marriage. But then she says that Justin considers her in everything he does and feels, and she feels guilty that she's not naturally wired like that. But she says Justin considers her in every single thing he does. And oh my God, who does not want a man who considers you in everything that he does? My mom used to always say, she would say, marry someone who loves you and not someone that you love. She says, because if you marry a man who loves you, he is really going to treat you like the princess that you are. And women are more adjustable. You know, when we are treated nicely, we can adjust to really be into the guy. So I don't know. I think that maybe Justin really does love her, and that is where he is. He's really trying to consider her and her feelings. But I think that that's easy for a week. It gets a little more difficult when you have a lifetime. So I want to see if Justin, if this is his personality, him being a pleaser, and if he can keep this up for a lifetime. I hope so, but I'm sure it gets hard. They then go selling, Justin and Alexis, and they have a conversation about Justin. He doesn't work, he works at home, so he'll be at home taking care of the pets, and he'll make sure he has dinner ready when Alexis gets home. And then so she will go off to work, and that she makes more money than him. And they both agree that they want to do a budget when they get back. And she hopes that her making more money doesn't cause an ego problem with Justin. But he says he is totally fine with that as long as their money is going into the same account. And then he corrects himself. Well, we'll have the same account and we'll have separate accounts. And yeah, I think that everybody should have a place to have some fun money where they can do what they want. But I do think your money should be considered together as one, and where you're not contributing to a bank account as an allowance to the bank account as you're doing separate households. Because I think that when you do it like that, then it's more like you're a roommate than a marriage. If you say, hey, you know, we have this household account and we're gonna both put $100 in the household account. That's what roommates do. But a married couple, they look at their finances as a whole and decide as a unit what they're going to do with their money, regardless of how they divvy it out into accounts. So I do have a video on married couples, kind of banking for married couples. So if you want to see that, please check out that video. The next thing we see is them at the late night group dinner. And Alexis says that she has a stressful job, so she wants to see how Justin will handle it. And Justin wants to cater to her so that she can focus on her work. Miguel says he understands what Justin is doing for Alexis, but he does not know what Alexis is doing for Justin. And Alexis says that she is there for him. She is his support system and his security. She will protect him at all costs. She is there emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially. She feeds life into him and caters to her man. So I guess she set him straight very quickly. Alexis says that she loves Justin and she wants to spend her life with him. So the 8 weeks is just the beginning. And he is like, what? What'd you say? Did you say I love you? And Stacia is like, I heard that. She said it. But she refused to say it again because that's Alexis. She's not into her feelings. So I thought that that was cool that she proclaimed her love to him in front of the crowd, because that, you know, some people are ashamed to say it in front of other people. So hey, they both proclaim their love on the honeymoon, which we'll see it gets deeper in a minute. We then see Justin and Alexis where they're kind of winding down for the night, and Justin begins to cry over Binh and Morgan because he feels that Binh got cheated and he is not getting what he bargained for. And it's not the expert's fault, it is Morgan's fault because she is not being authentic. And it is so cute how Alexis supports him in that moment, which I can see why Justin believes that Alexis is okay with him being sensitive, because she supported him in that moment. And I like that she says, you cannot hurt for somebody and that make their hurt go away. So, you're just going to have to let him hurt for himself. And, I love the empathy of Justin, and I love the comforting words of Alexis. And then it just turned playful for them, where Alexis was proclaiming her love to him in private, and he was trying to make her say it over and over again. And they had this little banter going back and forth. So I really enjoyed seeing Alexis and Justin. That was it for Alexis and Justin. What did you think? What did you think about Alexis proclaiming her love to Justin? Do you think their love for one another is real? Do you think they're gonna last beyond the 8 weeks when we just saw the dog fight in the previews? I don't know. Do you think Alexis is gonna leave him over a dog? Some people are very serious about their animals. What do you think about Justin being sensitive? Do you think Alexis is accepting of that? Or do you think she's having a harder struggle? And do you think if she's struggling, she will be able to keep it up? So let me know what you think. Be part of the conversation by commenting in the comment section. Morgan and Binh. We see Morgan at the girls' brunch, and she says that Binh is sensitive and he is very aware of what he says and how he speaks. And I want to know, really? Is she living the same reality show that I'm watching? Because I think that Binh says a lot of things that I think is inappropriate, and I don't like that. So I'm not sure what Morgan thinks about him watching what he says, but I'm a little square peg, so maybe it's just me and they're having fun with the banter that Binh is giving. Morgan says behind closed doors, Binh is really touchy, but she needs more time. Morgan thinks that Binh is super hot. I mean, she thinks that her husband looks so good, and I think that is so good that she is very attractive physically to the look of her husband. And I love it when she says it. She is just gushing from like ear to ear and everything. And what man does not want his wife to be gushing all over him? So I am loving her excitement over Binh and what he looks like. And she goes in to talk about, when he worked out or with seeing with his shirt off, like she is really excited. And so that was so wonderful to see her excited about her man. We then see Binh. He's at the tequila tasting with the guys. Binh says he thinks that the experts did a good job, but he says him and Morgan are a good match personality level, but they haven't really gone in detail and in depth, and they do have a physical intimacy. So it looks like he's physically attracted to her. I think that this is the running theme in their relationship for this episode, is that he wants to get deep down into conversations. And honestly, I think it's because she is having a hard time answering what I would consider the surface level. You ask somebody, do you want kids? It's a yes or no. It's not, we need to talk about that later. He wants to know if she wants kids and those kind of things. And it sounds like she is brushing off those simple conversations to wait till they get home. And I'm sure in his mind, he thinks that the answer would be no. So I think that's what's going on, and it's giving Binh just a little pause because he really wants a family and he is really into finances, and she is just really not giving him anything for him to go by to say that he actually got the things that he asked for. So I really hope, I don't know if she lied to the experts or not about family, but he pushed that he wanted family. So I hope that she at least told the experts, even if she goes back on it now. I hope they did not match Binh knowing that Morgan does not want a family. So I'm going to be paying close attention to this issue. I can't remember if she said anything about wanting kids or family in her promo videos. I can't remember. So if you do, let me know in the comments if she mentioned family in her promos. But then they are at dinner alone, and this is a very good alone time for them. Binh shares that he is close to Justin. Morgan says that she goes 110% when she's at work. So on the weekend, she likes to chill, relax, and decompress. Morgan thinks that they are starting off really well and there is a lot of potential. They have a good understanding of each other and a good foundation. Binh wants deeper conversation in the next 5 weeks. I don't know why he said 5 when it's an 8-week experiment, but in the next 5 weeks, he wants deeper conversation. How they grew from their past and how they're going to grow moving forward. And he also says that they need to pause and take a breath before they speak, which is some great advice. But since we're going to see that he ran off at the mouth, I don't know if he used his own advice, but he says that they need to take a breath and think before they speak. And Morgan lets him know that she has been hurt by words, so be really careful about what you say and the words that you use, because she takes that to heart. Even if there's not malintention behind it, she takes what you say to heart. And I don't know, that would be so hard watching every single thing you say. But I feel like those two conversations are kind of on the same line. Pause before you speak and, watch what you say, because words can leave a lasting effect, which it is very, very true. Words can leave a lasting effect. The next day we see them go surfing. And once they finish, they have a sit-down chat and they give us a flashback from the day before, where Binh thinks conversation is surface level and he wants to know the important things like family and finances, but she wants to wait till to have that conversation until they are not emotionally stressed. But my question is, you are on vacation. That's supposed to be the highlight of your relationship. You don't have to worry about work. You're not coming home from a long day. You just go to the restaurant. They have your meals prepared. You call room service. You got breakfast waiting on you. So what is she stressed about? Because this should be a very relaxing time where you can sit there after you surf and talk about what your life is going to be like. So I don't know. Again, I think that she is making a cop-out, and I think that is what's given Binh anxiety on what he thinks she wants for family and finances. But Morgan says that she has not had a good relationship with her dad for several years, and Binh says that he cannot relate because he does not remember ever having a toxic relationship. They then flash back to the present moment. So all of that is what they said on the day before. They flash back to the present moment. Binh wants clarity on family and finances. He says he is unsure how they will align because she has a strained family relationship. She has student debt and wants to go back to school, but he's in the building phase. She asked him to be open-minded and not closed off, and trust her when she says it's gonna be paid off and it will not weigh them down. She assures him that she is not gonna ask him for any money, but needs him to be understanding. Binh is now having doubts. He says they match on the surface, gym, intermittent fasting, and good vibes, but he preached family, finances, and 100% honesty. He then goes in to tell her that he told Justin what they spoke about the night before. And it sounds like off camera, they spoke about her having one class left in order to complete her bachelor's. Now, Binh believes that she is not being honest. And I think that she is only not being honest if she told the experts that she had her bachelor's degree. And I don't remember if she said that or not. So let me know if you remember. But when she told him that she did not have her bachelor's degree and she needed 1 credit, it sounds like he took that as she had lied to the experts and wasn't honest. And honestly, once you find that somebody has lied about one thing, your mind goes racing. What else have they lied about? So although she told him in that conversation she wanted it to be private, and not make a big deal about it. He now went and got advice from Justin and told Justin about their conversation to get some advice, and he believes that Justin may have shared it with Alexis. So now the very thing that she did not want to happen is happening. And I actually don't fault Binh in this situation, because I feel like he feels a little closer to Justin right now than he does Morgan, just because of their prior interactions, although it may be short-lived. And sometimes you just need someone to talk to. He already told us that he was close to Justin, and you need that sounding board. And I know that, in our relationships, I feel like we need to determine who that sounding board is and how you can agree as a family who you both trust with your sacred information related to your relationship. If somebody's a talker, I'm a talker, so I need to share, I need to get it out, I need that sounding board. My husband is very quiet. I don't really think he talks to anybody. I think that he just deals with it within himself, but I cannot deal with it within myself. So maybe that is why I have some compassion on Binh, because I probably would have went and discussed it with someone that I trusted. And then, you can't help whether they tell their spouse or not. And I guess I wouldn't tell them not to tell their spouse, because, I don't think that you should have secrets among spouses. So I don't know, this seems like a big mess, because Morgan was very upset about this. So she should be. And now she's saying that she does not trust Binh. But what I loved about it is Binh apologized, he took accountability, and he said that he was going to make it right. So I don't know. I want to see what she said to the experts to determine if she is lying, because her justification is that she is a nurse. So she made it sound like that he thinks she's lying about being a nurse, which that may be part of it, because it was all jumbled up for me. But I'm thinking that he is wanting to know that she lied about having her bachelor's degree. And because she doesn't have her bachelor's, the second thing is he's questioning whether she is a nurse. And she clarified that she is a nurse. She just got it through her associate's degree and not her bachelor's degree. But I'm wondering if they are now pushing the narrative about whether she's a nurse or not, so that we will move away from if she actually lied. Because I think that the lie would be if she told them that she had a bachelor's degree. So let me know what you think about this bundle of mess we got going on here. We then see Binh playing ball with Justin, and he reviews the conversation that he had with Morgan and says that Morgan feels like he stabbed her in the back, and Binh admits that although he didn't do it intentionally, he still stabbed her in the back. And I love that he just takes responsibility. I believe he even apologizes for sharing that information with Justin in this particular situation, since she asked him not to. I think that is so great. If you have made a wrong, then go try to make it right. And I think that is what he's doing. And he's now creating a boundary in his relationship and letting Justin know that he was wrong for the actions that he took. Justin encourages him to continue to express himself, which I agree. You should not express yourself, because now she's mad, because kind of like she got caught in the lie. So she got caught in the lie, now she's mad at you, kind of green-lighting, gaslighting, I think it's called, turning it around the other way. But he should express himself. And you should make sure your spouse is free to express themselves to you, so that you can see where they are and you can both work together to change any dynamic in your relationship that is causing the other person stress or strain. So I think that he should have been able to express that. Great advice that Justin gave. Binh takes ownership of where the relationship is, and he takes ownership to fix it. So he says, I am going to fix this. Who does not want their man to take responsibility and decide to fix the issue that you have in your relationship. We then see Morgan talking to Stacia and Lindy, and she says that Binh wanted someone with finances and family oriented, and that's not where she is. She says that they agreed to wait until they got home to talk about it, but Binh laid into her and wanted to talk about it anyway. She wants someone who is proud of her and who came in with no expectations. Well, that's unrealistic, because if you get to give the experts your dream girl or guy on a silver platter, then you have some expectations to get some of the things that you want. You may not get them all, but I think you would have an expectation to get some of them. And it sounds like his main ones, he does not know how they were met yet, which I think that he can discover later that maybe they were in a different way. But it doesn't look like, it's not packaged like he thought it would be. She wants someone who's proud of her with no expectations. She tells them that trust has been broken, but she doesn't really tell them why. And maybe it's because I'm getting the wrong impression, because I think trust is broken because Binh told her secret that she didn't have a degree, and that she may have lied about that to the experts, that she didn't have a bachelor's degree. So that is how I'm interpreting it. And I think that she was not authentic because she didn't give them the whole picture of what's happened and why there is a disruption in their relationship to the fullest extent. She gave them a little piece, which was good, because then she still participated in the conversation. But I think that she was holding back because she already didn't want this to become an issue, and now she doesn't want to make it even a bigger issue by now sharing it with the girls. She tells them that she generally walks away once trust has been broken, but she is going to be here and she is going to do her best to stick it out. And marriages go through some hard times, so we just have to learn to stick and stay and work through those issues with your spouse, unless it's just something totally crazy. But I think stuff like this, where trust has been broken in this small area, not if somebody's cheating on you or whatever, but in these small areas, and our marriages don't last because we don't know how to recover. So I'm glad that she is willing to stick and stay. But last night at the group dinner, she says that she worked through the pandemic and she needs to distress after work. She says that she has been alone and having someone there is going to be different. She told the experts that she needs someone who can take care of themselves. She can't take care of them because she has taken care of people all day long. And while she is talking about this, Alexis and Justin are whispering. But I don't know, I think it's a valid concern, and I don't think that we can totally understand how it feels for the medical profession to work through COVID, because she started off saying because of the pandemic, she's already told us that she works 110%. She gives 110% when she's at work, and when she gets off, she needs to decompress. And I feel like she is saying that, I'm always hard on Morgan because she already said she wanted to be independent. But I don't think that that's what she's saying here. She's saying, hey, I'm going to have to figure this out. And as they question her, she's like, I don't know. We're going to have to communicate. Alexis asks, how does Binh fit in? And when she says that, here is the immature Binh who makes an inappropriate sexual gesture behind Morgan. I think she saw him, so I don't think he was doing it behind her back. But I just think stuff like that is just childish. And that's why I just think that he is childish. And I don't know, I feel like he wants her to be seen as a sex symbol. And for her, she just adores him. And that irritates me, that she adores him and then he does these little innuendos. And this is not the first time he did it. So I was turned off by Binh. And I had said that Binh is my little brother and I'm Team Binh before this come on. But he got on my nerves. I did not like that at all. But Morgan says that they're going to have to communicate in order to work it out. And Binh asks, where does he fit in? Because on top of all that, she does boxing and she has the gym. And Ben asked, what does she need from him? Which I thought was a perfect question, because everybody around the table wanted him to ask, what are my needs? What do I need from you? But he asked, what do you need from me? She says that she does not need space, but that she wants them to communicate and she wants them to check in mentally. And I feel like that is the point that she's trying to make, that she's mentally drained because of all of the life and death things she has to deal with due to the pandemic, that she needs to decompress, and she wants somebody to check on her, support her when she gets home, to see how she's doing mentally. He says that he could do that. So I like that about them. I like that she communicated what her needs were, and he responded as to what he could or could not do. We then see Ben and Morgan the morning of the last day of their honeymoon. And Ben says that he has learned that he can be judgmental and he needs to be more open in his life. So I love that he had a revelation, because that is going to help them moving forward. Morgan says that they can build things back up again. So she's still in it. She's still willing to try. And Ben again apologizes and says that he will earn her trust back. And that was so wonderful. That was the end of Ben and Morgan. What do you think about this couple? Are you offended like I am when Ben makes those inappropriate innuendos, or maybe you think they're not inappropriate? What do you think? Do you think that Ben will be able to regain Morgan's trust? And do you think Morgan is lied to the experts about not having a degree? Do you remember if she said she had a bachelor's or not? Well, join the conversation and let me know what you think in the comments below. So that ends this episode. Please go and watch the recap for Married at First Sight season 7 after this. I plan to have it up very shortly. Sorry I was a little late on this one, but please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.